tow. This is not what you anticipated, but the moniker of one of the utmost enigmatic occurrences of the dawning of the 20th century. More precisely, it denotes the English acronym for the Panama-Pacific International Exposition, an event shrouded in mystique, which transpired in 1915 in the vicinity of San Francisco, California, USA. Albeit the immensity of this affair, unearthing customary photographs of it in pristine resolution proved to be no mean feat. A plethora of archaic postcards, meticulously airbrushed beyond recognition, do exist. However, they tend to divulge a run-of-the-mill narrative. From perusing them, one might surmise that it was a mundane affair, merely one among an extensive roster of comparable gatherings transpiring worldwide during that era. Yet, that presumption falls short of veracity. No exhibition staged during that epoch could rival the sheer magnitude of this event, particularly in terms of its geographical expanse. To organize this exhibition, buildings were demolished over a significant area of San Francisco along the Pacific Ocean coast. The exhibition was aligned with the opening of the Panama Canal in 1914. This event seemingly held great significance, and no expenses were spared. It appears that at that time, conducting substantial trade with the western part of the country via sea routes was more convenient in the United States. The canal's inauguration resolved numerous issues, and it was decided to appropriately commemorate this occasion. The situation in San Francisco at that time remained complex. The city had experienced a series of powerful earthquakes a few years prior, and the aftermath had not yet been fully addressed. Despite this, within a year, a vast and respectable exhibition complex emerged. The fact that it was built in just a year is confirmed by numerous photographs. As you can see, the architects modeled the future buildings in the photo from 1914, simply by drawing them with an outline. Many will probably wonder, how did it all manage to be built at such an accelerated pace on such a scale? There is no difficulty here in general. The construction of buildings was carried out according to a simplified technology. The metal frame was sheathed with ordinary wood, and a material called damask was attached to it. It was he who gave the buildings a noble classical look. For those who don't know, damask is a finishing material made in molds using reinforcing fabric and filler. As a rule, burlap was used as a fabric, and mineral powders on an adhesive basis were used as a filler. Forms could give any kind of damask, from sheets to sculptures. It could be fastened with anything, from glue to nails. The technology is simple, fast and cheap. In those days, it was used quite often for the construction of buildings with a short service life. The construction is going great, only the absence of trenches for engineering networks is immediately confusing. As you can see, poles with wires very often come across in the photo, but in the final form they will simply disappear. In addition, when building such large areas, there must be transformer substations on the master plan. Where are they? Judging by the strength of the illumination of the heavens, such an object consumed a lot of electrical power. It is probably even commensurate with the power consumed by a modern urban-type settlement. In addition, this exhibition was in many ways unique for a number of reasons. When designing the exhibition, it was implemented as a completely autonomous entity. For the first time in the United States, the San Francisco-New York telephone line was tested on it. The exhibition included a railway and even an airfield. In pavilions of the exhibition, such unseen luxuries as hairdryers and washing machines were sold. And the pavilions themselves were huge. To supply all this with electricity, you need quite a decent power plant with a pipe of such a height that it would be visible from any angle. But she wasn't even close. What is the secret here? Probably in those same pavilions. Did each tenant in the pavilion provide themselves with electricity? It may very well be so, but the buildings and structures included lighting, fountains, and a multitude of other features that were not relevant to the tenants. There were indeed numerous peculiarities with the shared lighting at the exhibition. The vast majority of interior lighting was arranged in a manner contrary to all logic. They were simply electric lamps suspended from ordinary chains without any visible wires. There weren't a great number of them, but remarkably many in an astonishing way. How could this work? There are even more questions about outdoor lighting. What are these strange lanterns, on which the lamps are not even visible? In daylight, these are ordinary metal rings hanging on a pole. The improvised fire at the top of these lanterns indicates that these lanterns used an atmospheric electrical resource for their burning. All such devices were marked with this sign, from pneumatic furnaces to architectural details of temples. After standing for just nearly 1 year, our huge exhibition was demolished. In 1916, it was almost gone. At the same time, all such exhibitions ceased to operate throughout the United States, and under strange circumstances, amusement parks, which were actually a small variety of these exhibitions, burned down. And what happened at the same time on the European continent needs no introduction. Obviously, all these events on a global scale were led by a single moderator, which modern history does not want to admit. Despite this, the remainder of the exhibition's facilities have only recently been demolished, to be reconstructed.